Hey guys, Todd here. Today we're going to install the Patriot running board on this 2021 Ford F-150 Super Crew. Now this is the same installation for stainless and for black. For this installation, I'll be using a ratchet and two sockets, a 13mm and a 1/2 inch. Now make sure you're subscribed to our channel to keep up to date with all our latest content. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, before we go any further, we want to go ahead and separate our hardware. In your kit, this is all going to come in one bag. You're going to have 12 metric nuts, 12 standard nuts, and then 12 standard bolts. If you can't tell the difference between your standard nuts and your metric nuts, like I cannot, then what you're going to do is take your bolt and take one nut at a time, and if the bolt threads into the nut freely, then that is a standard nut. Make sure you set those off to the side. The standard nuts and the standard bolts are going to be used to fasten the running board to the bracket. Now the metric nuts, those are not going to thread in all the way. It'll feel like it's going to start, but then it'll stop right about halfway in. That's your metric. The metric is going to be used to attach your brackets to the truck. Okay, we're starting off underneath the truck. We're on the driver's side, just behind the driver's side front tire. Now, in your bracket kit, you're going to have a total of 6 brackets. You have 2 that are faced one way, and the other 4 are faced the opposite direction. They're kind of a mirror image. The 2 that are faced the same way, those are your front brackets, so your front driver's side and your front passenger side. The other 4 are your remaining brackets, your center and your rear brackets for both sides. All right, next what we're going to do is take our driver's side front bracket, slide it over top of these 2 threaded studs. And we're going to take our metric hardware and go ahead and set it in place, just finger tight for right now. All right, next we're going to go ahead and go to our center bracket. Again, this is going to be a mirror image of the front bracket. We're going to go to these 2 studs and attach our metric hardware that's provided and just hand tight again. All right, now we're going to go ahead and come back to our rear bracket location, focus on these 2 threaded studs in the rocker panel. We're going to go ahead and install our rear bracket. Again, this is just like our center bracket, bent the same way. A mirror image of our front bracket. And again, hand tight, we're going to set our metric hardware in place on that. All right, now we can go ahead and set our running board on top of our brackets. And we'll get it lined up about where we're going to put it. All right, next we can take these plates out of our kit. We're going to slide them up into the channel, turn them sideways, and slide them over top of our bracket to line the holes up from the plate to the bracket. Next we take our standard hardware. We're going to take the bolt, run it down through the top of the plate, down into the bracket. And then we can take our serrated flange nuts that are standard and run them up those bolts. And then repeat the same for the other 2 brackets. All right, now that we've got everything lined up where we want it, we're going to go ahead and tighten everything down. So first we're going to tighten down the boards to the brackets. We're going to use a 1/2 inch wrench to go up into the channel and hold the bolt in place, while we use a 1/2 inch socket to tighten that nut down. That's a serrated flange nut, so it's self-locking, so just get it nice and snug and you can move on. And now we can switch to a 13mm and tighten down the brackets to the truck. Repeat the same to the next 2 brackets. Okay, well, we did the same steps for the opposite side, and that concludes the installation. If you found this video helpful, make sure and give us a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the product, check the link in the description below. And as always, if you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.